I'm very happy to be joined here today by Global Saskatoon Meteorologist Peter Quinlan. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Abby.
Of course, now it's a brand new year. We're officially in 2025, and usually January and February are pretty cold. They can get pretty cold. It's usually when we see the coldest temperatures, and last year we also experienced the polar vortex. So,
Mhm.
what are some things that we can be expecting weather-wise here in January or even February?
So it looks like this year we will have kind of shots of cold air, shots of warm air, and kind of yo-yoing back and forth. That's kind of the overall trend we're expecting in January. We started off with that blast of Arctic air and some extreme cold warnings, and then this week we're warming up and could even see positive temperatures come Wednesday, and then kind of a gradual cool down. So I think this yo-yo trend is going to continue throughout much of the month, but probably maybe the third week or the fourth week we'll plunge into some Arctic air for maybe up to a week or so. So we will still see some traditional, just steady cold. Normally, daytime highs in Lloydminster this time of year around -11, overnight lows -21. So we've kind of been wobbling either side of that over the last little while, and this is coming off of a pretty mild December.
Yes, for sure. And kind of going off of that yo-yoing, I know a lot of people have talked to me about it, but the temperatures are changing drastically. One day, like you said, we're in an extreme cold warning, and then this week we're going to be experiencing single digits or even plus digits. So, how come that happens? And is that just kind of how this winter is going to go for us?
It does look like that's how this winter will be, and we've already been seeing that. It's kind of because we are looking at this La Nina pattern that we're in that's been a weak La Nina, not being as strong as a typical La Nina pattern. So we get these pushes of mild Pacific air that come in, and then they get pushed aside by the Arctic air that pushes that out. And basically, we don't really see a stable ridge or trough set up in the jet stream. So one of the things is the polar vortex isn't as dominant this year so far, and so that's when that moves in, we just get steady cold for weeks on end. So that has not been in place. One of the reasons why we haven't had that kind of steady winter cold for a prolonged period, although we have had some recently.
Yes, and that's kind of good news, kind of bad news. We still don't like the cold, but having it kind of have some warm days here and there is nice
Mhm.
to get us through the winter. Now, do we know yet if this is going to be a longer winter or even a harsher one? I know that there's been a lot of snow fall in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Will we be experiencing blizzarding weather, and will it be longer?
We always have the potential for snow and blizzard conditions in the winter. It doesn't, it's a little bit too soon to say. We may move out of winter kind of as maybe slightly later than seasonal, but we'll have to kind of wait and see till February into March. Those are kind of the months we'll be watching for that. It doesn't look like this is the strongest of La Ninas, and it's already beginning to break down, so it will probably not be the winter that lasts forever. And I think that's probably good news for many people.
Yes, it's great news for me for sure,
I
for
bet.
someone who doesn't like being cold. So that's great to hear that we kind of the yo-yoing can be kind of annoying just because of going from cold to warmer, but I liked having those little warm days in between the frigid temperatures. So it's always great talking to you, getting the information that we need. So thank you for joining me, and we'll talk soon about what we can expect at the end of winter.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, Abby.